We're following breaking news. A smoky fire burns through a popular Manhattan market.
Plus a triple tragedy. 3 women drown when their SUV sinks in a river.
And how you could walk into a bank and drive out in a free car.
This is the news leader. Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
A nightmare in New Jersey. 3 women all killed when their SUV sinks in a river. Plus, a cab that only picks up a certain bank's customers. See how to get freebies like that the next time you make a deposit. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sandra Bookman.
And I'm Charles Perez. We begin tonight with a horrific story. 3 women ran off the road right into a river. Then, as their SUV began to take on water, the 3 cried out for help as it slowly went down. One passerby tried to help them escape and failed. Eyewitness News reporter Lucy Wong, joins us now live from Newark, where it happened. Lucy.
Well, Charles, all they were trying to do was come home from a birthday celebration. Good Samaritans were on the scene within seconds, the Newark Fire Department within minutes. But all they could do was helplessly watch 3 women drown as their car sank to the bottom of the Passaic River. As mourners dropped their tears into the Passaic River tonight, this father came with a heart broken beyond consolation.
Hey, I know we all got to go, but not like this.
His daughter, Monique Hawkins, died early this morning after celebrating his other daughter's birthday. 2 sisters leaving in 2 different cars. Only one arrived home safely. Killed along with Monique, 34-year-old Nicole Floyd and 35-year-old Gail Williams, who was driving the SUV.
Unbelievable. I can't believe it.
Officials report the tragic chain of events began around 4:30 this morning when the Jeep Cherokee lost control on Raymond Boulevard, crashed through a fence, and continued through an empty lot before plunging into the Passaic River. As the car began sinking, the horror descended on the women. They were trapped in a watery grave, their car to be their coffin.
I was just trying to break the glass, and I couldn't, I just couldn't.
Despite their valiant efforts, they could not crack the windows, the water eventually swallowing up the victims and muffling their final frantic cries for help.
Hey, help me! That's all they screamed. Help us!
I just couldn't do anything.
We're told in that last moment of life, the victims called a friend instead of 911. Still, the fire department arrived within minutes, only to have their hands tied. Newark, the largest city in New Jersey, does not have a dive and rescue team. It would take another hour for another town, Wallington, to get its crew here. By then, the car was 35 feet underwater. No doubt questions will be raised tomorrow morning as to why this city, which is home to the Passaic River and Newark Bay, did not have the equipment nor the expertise to save these victims. We're live in Newark tonight. Lucy Yang, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Lucy, there's breaking news out of the Bronx at this hour where police are searching for a hit-and-run driver who killed a pedestrian earlier this evening. It happened at the intersection of Baychester and Bussing Avenues in the Eastchester section just before 8 o'clock tonight. Police say a gray or silver late-model Nissan Maxima struck and killed a 26-year-old man. That victim died at the scene. Witnesses say the car does have front-end damage.
Charles, we're following another breaking story. This one in Manhattan. Firefighters are at the scene of a smoky fire that has badly damaged a popular Upper East Side gourmet food market. Eyewitness News reporter Art MacFarland is on the scene. Art, what can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you right now, Sandra, it is pretty much a mop-up operation. Firefighters at the scene have started to put away their equipment. Fire marshals are here to try to determine the cause of the fire at the vinegar factory. There were no serious injuries, but it was a dangerous fire that caused serious damage.
I'm very sad, very, very sad but no one. We're going to rebuild and we're going to open it up.
And vinegar factory owner Eli Zabar acknowledges the fire could have been worse. It started in an upstairs oven.
The employees who were working at that time attempted to put the fire out initially with a garden hose, and I think that might have given us a little bit of a delayed alarm.
60 fire units involving some 250 firefighters responded by the time it went to 5 alarms. A few of them suffered minor injuries.
I have a I am in total with minor injuries, and they go from strains to bruises, banged up a little bit because visibility on the second floor was very poor. And like I say, there was a lot of equipment up there used for the ovens and the cooking.
The popular establishment was busy with customers at 6:35 when the fire broke out, but none were threatened when it began.
I just went through the store, and there really isn't any damage to the store at all. The damage is to our production facility.
There was very heavy damage to that production facility. The roof is damaged, structural damage to the building itself, but Mr. Zabar says they will be continuing to produce the fine foods that people come here to buy, and that people in this neighborhood won't have to worry that the vinegar factory will be going out of business, not even temporarily. We're live in the Upper East Side. Art MacFarland, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Art, thank you for that. A New Jersey firefighter's in critical condition tonight after rushing to the rescue of a family trapped in their house on fire. The blaze broke out early this morning on 44th Street in North Bergen. A father, a mother, and their daughter had to be rescued from a second-story window as smoke rose up to the second floor. A fire captain suffered interior burns to his lungs. Now, the father was also injured and hospitalized. It was a scenario family members say that father had prepared them for.
You know, when we were kids, we used to have to practice fire drills out the windows. We had fire routes and everything. He used to make us climb out a rope out the window.
Now, according to firefighters, items the homeowners had accumulated both inside and outside the home over the past few years hampered rescue efforts. No word yet on what caused the blaze.
There will be increased security tomorrow on the sidelines of a high school football game that had been postponed because of a threat of violence. The game between War Memorial High and South Brunswick High School was delayed Friday night after police learned of possible gang violence. Police say there could be trouble between rival gangs, the Bloods and the Crips. That game will be played tomorrow at 3 p.m.
A small plane en route to a NASCAR race crashing early this afternoon, killing everyone on board. The plane went down at about 12:30 today in a remote mountain area outside Martinsville, Virginia. Emergency crews have had a tough time reaching this site, and it's 10 victims. 2 pilots and 8 passengers all killed. Among the dead are the son and the brother of Rick Hendrick, the owner of Hendrick Motorsports, one of the most successful teams in NASCAR history.
An Army captain from New York who was supposed to be heading to Iraq won't have to report for duty, at least for now. Jay Ferriola files suit against the military, claiming he received an order to report for duty tomorrow, even though he resigned back in June. Well, today, a federal judge agreed to delay the order until November 1st, while the Army decides whether to approve Ferriola's resignation request. In Iraq, a disturbing discovery. 50 new Iraqi Army recruits massacred execution style while on their way home on leave. Insurgents ambushed their vehicles, forced many of the soldiers to lie on the ground, and then shot them in the head. Followers of Jordanian terrorist Abu Musab al-Zarqawi are claiming responsibility for the massacre.
And there's more from Iraq tonight. Gunmen there demanding $150,000 for the release of a 7-year-old Lebanese boy. The boy, young Mohammed Hamad, was abducted while walking home from school in the Diyala province just east of Baghdad 2 days ago. Now, the child's father has lived in Iraq for 30 years. The Lebanese government is now working to secure that boy's release. More than 150 foreigners have been abducted in Iraq since the fall of Saddam Hussein.
He's ready for action again. Still recovering from heart surgery, former president talks about returning to the fight on the campaign trail tomorrow.
Plus, a figure skater's frightening fall. Take a look at this, caught on tape.
Ooh, I'm meteorologist Lee Goldberg. Good evening. We have a storm over the ocean finally loosening its grip on the area, and for a change, we're actually seeing some stars through the clouds tonight, and that means some sun may approach us tomorrow. We'll talk about a milder and brighter AccuWeather forecast in just a few minutes.
With 9 days to go, Campaign 04 moves into the last full week of the race, and that means both Bush and Kerry will show up again and again in the same battleground states. But tomorrow, Senator Kerry will pull out the big gun, if you will. He'll be campaigning with former President Bill Clinton. Sunday began in Boca Raton, Florida for Senator and Mrs. John Kerry. It was just 1 day after the president's last visit to the Sunshine State. The two candidates hitting one battleground state after the other in the remaining days of Campaign 04. For Kerry, this Sunday stop in Florida was a chance to express the values he sees in Bush's policies.
Is it worthy of the good society to not once, not twice, but 3 times deny health insurance to millions of children while giving tax cuts to the wealthiest Americans, to those who earn more than $200,000 a year?
Remarks that came as he received the endorsement of the Orlando Sentinel. The first time in 4 decades the paper has endorsed a Democrat for president. In Crawford, Texas, the president was asked about the race.
I wouldn't discount Michigan. I wouldn't discount the influence of Wisconsin and Ohio, Iowa and Minnesota and New Mexico. And I think this race is a non-predictable race.
So unpredictable, John Kerry has asked former President Bill Clinton to join him on the campaign trail. In light of his recent heart surgery, ABC's Diane Sawyer asked him why he would go.
Because it's close and because I think it's important and because the differences between the 2 candidates and the courses they'll pursue in the next 4 years are so profound.
Now, you can catch more of Diane Sawyer's interview with former President Bill Clinton tomorrow morning on Good Morning America and this Thursday evening on Primetime Live at 10 p.m. As for the candidates, President Bush will travel to Colorado and Iowa tomorrow before wrapping up his day in Wisconsin. Now, Senator Kerry will be joined by President Clinton in Philadelphia tomorrow morning before also traveling to Wisconsin.
Tonight in Pittsburgh, a Russian figure skater is out of the hospital following a frightening moment at last night's Skate America competition. And as Russian World Pairs champions Tatiana Tatmianina and Maxim Marinin were attempting a one-handed lift, you see it there, he slipped and Tatmianina went tumbling to the ice face first. She was rushed to the hospital, but later was released with a bruise and a mild concussion.
Hard to believe she wasn't really hurt.
She's okay. Going beyond free checking and good interest rates.
See the big freebie some banks are now willing to dish out. Yes, you're looking at a card to get some customers.
Who says there are no free rides? They're obviously not in the banking business. These days, the competition for customers is so fierce, they are practically giving away the bank for the privilege of handling your money. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Nina Pineda.
Bank or car dealership? It's hard to tell these days when you can walk into a bank and drive away with a brand new car. All you have to do is invest a few $100,000 with the Community Bank of New York and $50,000 caddies free.
We're not talking anymore about the era of the toaster or the picnic cooler. We're talking about the car is kind of on the high end.
Citibank has offered customers things like iPods or Palm Pilots. Over here at Chase, they've offered $50 for opening a checking account, even giving away gift certificates for popular stores like Best Buy. At HSBC, the regional president will even give away the watch right off his wrist.
Research went on behind the scenes, showing it to a number of different people, different focus groups, about really is this something that a client or prospective client would be interested in. And the research said, yeah.
All right, we're out of here.
Thank you.
Good, you're welcome.
Valued customers even get free rides from the corporate cabbie. Johnny trolls Manhattan, driving anyone who simply flashes an HSBC ATM card.
I've never come across any bank offering such a thing in my life before. It's a pleasant surprise anyway.
But watch out for surprises that come with a catch. Some banks have strict rules and requirements. The price of the gift could also be automatically deducted from your savings, or you could even be taxed on the fancy gifts. Remember the bank giving away the car in exchange for a CD investment? Money Magazine suggests sticking with something less sexy.
The average rate on returns is a 3.5% rate, and that's only the average. Like, you could find a much higher rate at other banks that weren't offering you a car in return.
The items are enticing, so read the fine print. And remember, sometimes a free ride is just a free ride. And sometimes, you've heard this before, if something looks too good to be true, it is. In Manhattan, Nina Pineda, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Well, he looks good. His forecast is free. There's no fine print.
That's as good as we're going to get as far as a freebie goes.
That's the best promo I've ever received. Thanks
I know,
a lot.
I'm sucking up to you.
Yeah, well, you don't have to.
Think of it this way, you're the freebie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm a bargain. All right, let's go ahead and look outside where we have basically a mostly cloudy night, and Empire is still in blue, blue, and white for United Nations Day. Tomorrow it will be in autumn colors in red and yellow for a couple of days. All right, weather headlines. You know, the last time we had a 60-degree day, I mean, we're talking back on the 15th of October. We're going to try to do it again tomorrow. If we don't do it tomorrow, we certainly do it Tuesday. The sunshine's going to come back, breaks the sun tomorrow. Then there's a lunar eclipse Wednesday night. I'll talk about it a little bit. And a week from now, we will turn those clocks back right on Halloween. The sunset next Sunday somewhere around 5 o'clock, even a touch before. We're at 49 degrees right now. The humidity 77%. Right now, the barometer's holding. That's a big difference. The northeast wind has now gone to north at 7 miles per hour. The high today, 53. That's a subtle difference, but now we're losing that ocean component of the wind, and that's good. That will limit the moisture. The big weather maker is still this storm that's swirling several hundred miles offshore. It just ate apart this front as it got closer to us today. We got clouds and a couple of sprinkles. That was about it. And look, a couple of breaks in the clouds there, which is great news, and hopefully we can do that tomorrow as well. But there's a better look at that swirling storm. It's causing a traffic jam on the weather map. It's a very impressive storm. While not tropical, it's producing 60-mile-per-hour winds near Bermuda, very rough surf up and down the eastern seaboard. Now, this big block is really making a front over us fizzle right now, and it's also allowing high pressure to build here over the Midwest and eventually come in here. Then there's some stormy weather coming out of Mexico. That's really our next rain threat. That won't arrive till sometime Thursday night into Friday. So in the meantime, 60 degrees tomorrow, fair amount of sunshine. Then things move along. Very weak fronts. We're bright and beautiful on Tuesday. Plenty of sunshine coming up. Now, we should have a couple clear nights in there during the midweek. We have a total lunar eclipse. Wednesday night, totality 10:23 to 11:45. The moon's in the Earth's shadow, and the moon won't be just totally dark. It'll actually have this nice coppery hue to it, and it'll look great there at 10:23 to 11:45. Let's try that in the eastern sky as we head into Wednesday night. So here's my AccuWeather forecast. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, mostly cloudy and chilly, 47. Then during the day tomorrow, clouds early, but breaks the sun, a little milder. I think we got a shot at 60 degrees. The 5-day AccuWeather forecast. Low and middle 60s for a change. That's nice. Tuesday and Wednesday. And we should at least have partly cloudy skies Wednesday night for the eclipse. On Thursday, some clouds gather with a warm front. Temperatures are in the upper 50s. Maybe a shower Thursday night, but then nice again on Friday. So pretty nice weekend. No big storms in sight.
That's good.
60 degrees. Gotta love it.
It's a mini heat wave.
You're back on our good side.
Good. Have a good week.
All right. Speaking of good news, is it good news for New York, Marvell Scott?
I'll let you know. I'll cue you in. It was gut check time for both of our local NFL teams. Coming up on Eyewitness News, the Jets took on the Patriots in the battle of unbeatens in Foxborough. Plus, the Giants found themselves running every which way but loose against the Lions. Highlights next.
But first, here is tonight's live drawing of Take 5.
Good evening, I'm Alexandra Burley. Welcome to Sunday, October 24th, Take 5 drawing being observed by an auditor from KPMG. Tonight's winning Take 5 numbers are 16, 15, 29, 7, and 19. Tuesday's Mega Millions jackpot is $48 million. Have a great night.
Closed captioning provided by your Lexus dealers.
All right, not a good day for New York sports. Marvell Scott, you're up. What was it?
Well, all right, let's start off with the Jets. Hey, huge test in Boston. Two teams headed to Foxborough today with a perfect 5-0 record, but only one would leave as the AFC's only undefeated team left. To New England, where the Jets look to stop the Patriots from winning their 21st straight game. First quarter, gangrene driving in deep in New England territory, but Gerald Soule coughs up the football. Patriots recover, big blown chance by the Jets. Meanwhile, Curtis Martin was held to 70 yards, but this short run moved him past Jim Brown into 7th place on the all-time rushing list. Second quarter, Chad Pennington on the bootleg keeps it himself for the 1-yard touchdown. Jets on top 7-6, but right before halftime, Tom Brady scrambles and finds David Patton for the 7-yard TD reception. Patriots take the lead 13-7 at halftime. The rest was a defensive struggle. Late fourth quarter, gangrene rallying towards a game-winning score, but Pennington chooses the wrong receiver and fires incomplete to Wayne Corbett on 4th down. Jets lose their first game of the year, 13-7, the final.
We played a very good team, and we played tough, we played hard, but in the end, we didn't make the plays necessary. And the plays are out there to be made. You just got to make them.
We didn't quite get it done. Our hats are off to New England. What they've done, obviously, 20-something odd games in a row, and they're the best team.
Now on to the Giants, who for the first time in 5 games couldn't come up with the big plays come crunch time, today hosting the Lions. The Giants offense moved the ball well in the early going. Here, the screen pass to Tiki Barber, and he's thinking end zone, and that's exactly where he's heading. Barber goes 62 yards on the touchdown catch and run. That tied the game up at 7 apiece. But Kurt Warner committed 2 costly first-half turnovers. Here on the mad scramble, Warner looking to make something happen, but instead looks lost and gets picked off by Chris Cash in the back of the end zone. But the Giants still clung to a 10-7 lead at halftime. But from there, it was all downhill. Joey Harrington finds Reggie Swinton for the 2-yard touchdown. Lions on top, and they were flipping out with a 21-13 lead. Late fourth quarter, Big Blue with one last try to tie it up, but Warner fails again. Incomplete to Jeremy Shockey on 4th down, and that was it. The Giants' win streak ends at 4 wins, losing today 28-13 the final.
You know, disappointed throwing that interception at the end of the half. That could have been a huge momentum swing for us and really put us in control. Just, yeah, it was a game that we should have had, and we made too many mistakes.
We took some things for granted, started to feel a little full of ourselves, I think. Didn't prepare properly.
Much more ahead for you in sports. We'll have a World Series update and the rest of the day in the NFL. Coming up on Eyewitness News, Prime Time returns back to form today in Baltimore, plus preseason action as the Knicks tough it out against the Dallas Mavericks. Stay tuned.
The NFL Play of the Day is brought to you by Toyota.
We're back with our NFL Play of the Day, and we've got a 2-for-1 special. First to Miami. Dolphins here on the punt return. Watch the block by Tony Bois. Whoa, now that's what you call painting your hat. Dolphins beat the Rams 31-14, earning their first win. Also, Deion Sanders came up huge today against the Bills. He had 2 interceptions. Here, snags the tip pass. Call him prime time, neon, Deion, whatever. He high steps 49 yards for the score. Ravens win 20-6 as Deion's back. Elsewhere, the Eagles remain undefeated, beating the Browns 34-31 in OT. The Jags win by 3 over Indy, also in OT. Vikings beat the Titans 20-3. KC trounces the Falcons 56-10. The Bucs with a 19-7 win over the Bears. The Chargers beat the Panthers 17-6. The Packers hammer the Cowboys 41-20. New Orleans by 5 over Oakland. And the Cards top the Seahawks 25-17. Now for an update of Game 2 of the World Series. Right now, the Red Sox lead the Cardinals 6-2 in the 9th inning. Boston looking to go up 2-0. Now on to preseason basketball. The Knicks, coming off 3 consecutive blowout losses, tried to put together a winner tonight against Dallas. To the Garden, where Jamal Crawford took over the second half. Here off the steal and in for the jam. Crawford, a game-high 22 points, Knicks up 75-53, and rookie Trevor Ariza keeps improving. Goes baseline here and just explodes for the dunk. He scored 12 as the Knicks win easily, 102-86. On to golf. Final round play of the Funai Classic at Walt Disney World in Orlando. Ryan Palmer stole the show, shooting a final round 62. Here, the long putt for birdie on the 17th hole, and looky there, right on the money. Palmer finishes at 22 under, earning his first career PGA Tour win. And I'm Marvell Scott, and that's your sports for tonight. Have a great week ahead.
Thank you very much.
You too, Marvell. Thank you.
That is the news from us for now. We thank you for joining us. I'm Sandra Bookman.
And for Sandra, Lee, Marvell, and the entire Eyewitness News team, I'm Charles Perez. Thanks for watching. Eyewitness News back right here